Here's the pile of timber I'll be using for the decking, and I've got to get it 25 k's from here, but until such time as I can do the job, I have to put it inside my garage so we can get our vehicles out the gate. It's dark now, but all the timber is filleted, stacked and pre-cut to certain rough sizes. I'll let it sit there and dry for about a week probably before I get around to doing that job. On site now, this is what we're going to do. We're putting in some Doof Decks. So we're going to have from this deck up to this deck over here, we're going to go doof, 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 sort of. That's why they're called Doof Decks. Sort of make it up as we go along. Each one will be overlapping, sort of hovering over the top of the last one. First, I better get some heights. Heights have been worked out. I need to go up in 7 steps, which means we've got to build 6 platforms, 6 doofs, doof, 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 was that 6? To get up onto the top of that deck up there. And the first hole is dug. This is at a beach, and so it's all sand. So to prevent the water running away while we're pouring the concrete, I'm going to line the, can't find the plastic, going to line the holes with plastic. They'll have a board, like a bit of 6x2 like that in the bottom, just to help with stability. And we'll chuck some instant concrete around those, and the plastic will help hold all the water in there while it's drying. So while I'm making this deck, now I said deck too, by the way, D-E-C-K, I know I've got a New Zealand accent, it might sound like another word, but it's definitely deck, E-C-K. So first of all, we're just tacking up this first doof base, I guess you'd call it. We'll just tack this together with the nail gun, and then once you've done that, we'll screw it with stainless screws because we're in a marine environment and we don't want it to rust out in 5 minutes. While we're here, we're just going to test out the Ozito 12 volt home range drill, impact driver, sorry, from Bunnings. She's about 35 bucks. And the little Makita 12 volt CXT impact driver. It's the TD110D. So we're going to put these up against each other, driving these 125mm stainless steel 14 gauge batten screws directly into treated 6x2 timber. Ooh, it's going to be tough. This could take a while. So this is a race. On your marks. Get set. Go! That's why that one costs $100 more than that one. We tilt it forward, no, the top of the gun, not the tip. That's it. Yeah. Look at that. 200mm 14 gauge batten screws, straight in, no holes, all done with the Makita by my lovely apprentice. There is my first Doof Deck substructure sitting in place. I'm using rapid set concrete, which is shit hot stuff because it means you don't have to brace it and leave it for a day or anything. I can just sit it there like that, tip the concrete in, quarter of an hour later it's done. Within an hour you can be whacking away on that post with a hammer, nails, bolts, whatever you want to do, and the concrete's all good. That sort of concrete's not all that good for anything super structural, but it'll be okay for this, and I often usually top up the top with some real concrete after. my apprentice marks out where to drill. I'm pre-drilling the holes because I'm going to hit these big bloody 5-inch nails. They're 5.3 millimeters thick, and I whacked the first few in by hand and it's not that bad, but if you can make it a little bit easier, I can do twice as many in one day, eh? So going to drill a hole first with that. It's a 3.5mm drill bit, just to make it a bit easier. Won't go quite all the way down so it still grips at the end. And we've left the edges overhanging, and we'll tidy that up so that the doof's all good. Who needs a fucking straight edge, eh? And we pop them. So the miter saw, how's it gone today with sopping wet 6x2s? Well, I've been cutting sopping wet 6x2s and 4x4s all day, and as you can see, dust extraction wise, not the greatest. This top port, which normally works really well just to blow into the bag, I took the bag off straight away. Nothing coming out the back, it's just sticking to everything, this sopping wet wood. I've blown it off earlier. She's piling up with dust. So yeah, not good on the wet stuff, but not many saws are. Just thought I'd let you know that one. But as for cutting it, really nice. Cut it much better than I thought it would. Cut it much better than my old powered Makita used to do. Now some people, usually the guys that are selling you the timber, will tell you that the treatment on this timber goes right inside. It's pressure treated, it gets right into the center. Well, that's BS, okay? Don't believe it. Here's some perfect example of how it works, how it doesn't work. You can see this board here, see all the green sort of area like that? That's treated. This is H4 treated timber. It's meant to last in contact with the ground. But if you look at this board here, there's hardly any treatment on it, let's face it. None of this is treated. You've got about 5mm along the bottom here that's soaked in. It's barely even that. There's hardly any soak in there. And you can see it it often follows the grain of the timber, obviously. But this timber here, not treated at all. So if you don't put some treatment on the end of here, it'll rot out a lot quicker than say this board, which has got in a lot better. There's just a small bit in the middle that hasn't got it. That bit there hasn't got it. Same there. Whereas this board here, and this board here, which is probably the same board, it's gotten in a lot better. It also depends on where it is in the packet when they dip it. So many times, if the timber's on the outside, it'll get a good treatment. If it's in the middle, how's it meant to get in there as good? It doesn't. Simple as that. I like to cut the posts on a bit of a slope so the water doesn't sit on there, help them hopefully last a bit longer. And also, I slap on a bit of Metalex, timber preservative here in New Zealand. Put a bit of that on there like so, and that should seal that again, stop the rot from getting in there if it wasn't treated properly as I explained earlier. Now, I said that we're digging in sand here, and you may be wondering why the sand's black. There's not too many places in the world that have black sand, but if you live on the west coast of New Zealand, you'll be used to it. And in Japan, a few other isolated places on the planet, it's iron-rich sand, and it's magnetic because of the iron. You know, it sticks to anything. That's it, just sticking to a tech screw, just magnetizes to it, and there's, you know, it's a bit of a pain because it gets all in your driver bits and in your nut setters. That's a real pain in the bum. They just fill up with sand. So yeah, it's quite interesting stuff, and many a New Zealander has burnt the bottom of their feet on this black sand, because in the middle of summer, walking on sand made of iron, whew, she's pretty warm. Sunburn on the bottom of your feet. Well, sand burn. It's volcanic, from volcanoes millions of years ago. And all up the west coast of New Zealand, from sort of Taranaki up, it's real black. And here in Auckland, a lot of black sand on the west coast. Going to do another Makita comparison video here. We've got two drills, 12 volt and an 18 volt. Now this is the lower end 18 volt, so this has a top speed of 1500 RPM, whereas the 12 volt actually has a top speed of 1700 RPM. So we're just going to see how they both go. They've both got fresh batteries, and I just want to see how well the 12 stands up against an 18. This is going to be more a field test than anything, so I'll do sort of half a dozen with the 18 and then half a dozen with the 12. Now the 12 volt. So the 18 felt a bit better, but not a huge amount. 12 did pretty well on such a long drill bit. I'd still rather have the 18, but the 12, if you needed to do that job, it'd do it no problem. And just for comparison, here's the Makita top of the line 18 volt. As you can see, that flies through it no problem. So we're up to our 5th doof. We've had to change the angle now to get it across to where we want to go. But we've kept the same, it's the same offset, just turned 90 degrees. Doof, 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 doof. Oh, one more doof. Just a little word on the miter saw, it did real well. Did the whole job, one charge, bar the last 3 cuts. Died 3 cuts from the end, but it probably would have done the whole lot had I not taken the batteries off at one point and used them on the angle grinder and on the blower. Quite impressed that that can do that whole job over 3 days, 1 battery charge. The Doof Decks are complete. Doof, 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 doof. They even work. None of them collapsed. It's always a bonus. And if we have a look at it from the front, you'll see that we tried to do it without any post showing, so it just looks like floating platforms. And even though this is pretty rough grade, rough sawn 6x2, I think all done like this from a distance like that, it looks pretty damn good. It's only a beach house this is at. They wanted something to match this deck they've already got, which is just rough sawn 6x2s as well, which is a pretty sort of common thing to do. Beachy properties in New Zealand, just rough timber, let it weather, big chunky stuff. So there we have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got some inspiration, some tips and stuff out of that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, check out my other videos on the side here, and I will see you on another tool review or build project. Cheers.